What's up, everyone? Good evening, depending upon where you are coming in from. Uh, let's see who's out there. Go ahead and drop your name in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I am tuning in myself from Orlando, and it's not sunny. It is raining outside. So, anyways, for those of you coming in, let us know where you are coming in from. And we're going to try to keep this short and sweet tonight. Jeff from Jacksonville. What's up, Jeff? Hope all is well. We got Dawn from Maryland. Awesome. Hey, Dawn. Andre from Nashville. Sweet. We have a client out in Nashville. Awesome. Anyone else just coming in? Let us know where. Devin's in Vegas. My assistant Maria was saying she's in San Diego, but it looks like me. That's hilarious. All right, let's hop in. We're going to talk about the hottest recession-proof franchises. I know a lot of you will wind up catching the replay of this. So if you're catching it on the replay, just drop us a note and a comment and say that you're watching this on the replay. But let's go ahead and hop in. Hey, Peter, long time no talk. Peter from Connecticut. All right, so here's what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to talk about the 4 best ways to profit from franchises right now, a weird wealth building strategy during recessions, and then 3 specific recession resistant franchise opportunities with high profit potential. I'm really excited to talk about this stuff tonight. So let's dive in. Look, at the end of the day, the most important thing to ask yourself when you're thinking about this recession that people are talking about is what does it mean, right? What does it mean for the economy? What does it mean for businesses? What does it mean for you? The more you can think strategically, the more you can position yourself for success, right? So when COVID happened and everything happened with COVID, people started to think, okay, well, what businesses are going to take off? And if you were investing in the stock market, things like companies like Zoom and Shopify, things that were online based, virtual based, some of those investments went through the roof, and there was a cycle to really capitalize on the peak. And I would say the same thing with the recession. So question is, how can you capitalize and go with the trend? These are important things to ask yourself and to actually take notes on so that you can have it on paper. Most people don't actually think strategically. We kind of think in our head. We never put the pen to paper. Put the pen to paper, okay? The other question to ask yourself is, how quickly do I need to act? How quickly do I need to act, and what's the cost of waiting, right? Because the reality is there is a cost of you waiting or not doing anything. And I want you to, I think I say this analogy later on. I can't remember. We'll dive back into that later, but just know that there's a cost of waiting. So if you see a good opportunity right now and we go through this live and you think, ooh, I should do this sort of business, then capitalize and take action right away. The longer you wait, then the longer you cost yourself. So let's just real quickly, before we dive into some of these specific opportunities, it's really important for you to know what is a recession, because it's a word that creates a lot of emotion for people, but they don't actually know the meaning. So, and to give credit where credit's due, this comes from a Forbes.com article, but economists have varying opinions about how to define a recession. But basically, the NBER defines a recession as a significant decline that lasts for more than a few months and affects the broader economy, not just a particular sector. In other words, almost every industry will experience its impact. I'm going to hit pause there for a second. Every industry will experience its impact. Some will benefit from it. Some will get hurt from it, right? And so the reason why I think everyone's here is to benefit, right? I would imagine so. So recessions are defined as the period between the peak of economic activity and the economy's lowest point. The average recession has lasted about 10 months. Okay, so these are important things to know. The technical definition of recession is 2 consecutive quarters of declining GDP, gross domestic product, right? So now that we got the definition out of the way, and welcome some of the other folks, we got Mayoa in New Jersey, some from Mar-a-Lago, Kim from Phoenix, got Chicago, California, Stephanie, awesome. So what happens during a recession, right? In order for you to be able to capitalize on the right opportunity, what happens during recession? We're going to talk about 3 specific franchises tonight, but you want to be able to equip yourself with the knowledge, right? So that the idea is to teach you how to fish so that you can make strategic decisions on your own. But when the economy is in a recession, income stagnates or drop due to employers slashing hours or reducing their workforce. And in a recession, the unemployment rate, right? The unemployment rate, the percentage of the total labor force that is unemployed but actively seeking work, tends to increase as companies cut back on staff to reduce their expenses. So businesses cut spending and cut manufacturing costs, and they're trying to reduce their expenses, and then consumer spending slows. So these are all the things that happen during recession. And then this will bring us back to, well, how can I take advantage of that? How can I capitalize? So how can you benefit? The first, there's going to be a window opportunity for those who act fast. Part of becoming a successful entrepreneur is when you see an opportunity, how fast can you execute and implement on that opportunity, right? So decide to be one of the few that actually act. Most people just consume information and they never take action. It's like when people go, I had that business for an idea 2 years ago. Well, great. You never did anything about it. You never actually took action. So thinking about it, having good ideas, saying, oh, I knew that was going to happen, that does nothing but lose you money and lose you opportunity. So the first thing to do is to define your goal. Define what your destination is. This is one of the things we talk about and go into depth in the Zero to Profitable franchise system that a lot of our clients have access to. And I know we got a couple on here. Peter, Devin are both in, and Kim are all in the program. But you have to set your goal first. What's your destination? What are you looking to accomplish with this franchise business, right? So gain clarity on what that end picture looks like. Here's what most people do. I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded to the business. Look, if you're open-minded and you leave from New York going out to the West Coast, you could end up in Texas, but where you really wanted to go was California. So you have to have clarity on your goal. Then set a time frame to get there, right? So you're like, okay, there's going to be this opportunity with these recession-proof businesses that I'm going to be able to capitalize the most in the short term. So I want to make $100,000 a year in profits in the next 18 months, right? Setting a time frame to get there. I want to choose my business in the next 90 days. Okay, great. That way you don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis or just delaying. We have people who reach out. They go, I've been looking, how long you been looking for a franchise? About a year. It does not take a year to look for a franchise. Warren Buffett has a famous quote, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. Okay? So here's what I mean by this. Right now, people are already scared. The media is already fear-mongering people with the recession, and that's their job, is to keep you in fear. And fear is a way to manipulate people. It really is. That's one of the things that the media does. And so, but going back to this quote, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So now's the time to be greedy. And when I say greedy, now's the time to capitalize on opportunity. This is Apple stock. Okay. And I went ahead, and it's hard to look at it on this screen because it's smaller. So I'm going to look at my screen down here. In the peak of 2007, before the market crashed, Apple stock was just under $7 a share. Okay. Just under $7 a share, peak of 2007. The Great Recession of 2008 hits, And in a less than 2-year period, that stock loses 50% of its value and goes down to $3 a share. So imagine you have $100,000 in Apple stock, $100,000. You see your account balance within 18 months go to $50,000. Most people are panicking and selling. That is the time of peak fear. The moment where you feel terrified is the moment to go in. It's so counterintuitive. The moment you're terrified is the moment to act. People aren't even terrified yet. It's likely that things will get worse, the economic conditions overall in terms of growth. Okay. Real estate markets already showing signs of declining value because of interest rates going higher. The Federal Reserve is intentionally slowing down the economy right now. They're doing it on purpose. They are raising rates, and what that does is it crashes the stock market. Okay? When people see that their investments are going down, there's something called the wealth effect. They feel poorer, and so they spend less money. And interest rates are higher. People aren't going to buy as many houses, take out as many loans, etc. So again, peak fear. So if when everyone was freaking out when Apple stock was $3 a share right here in 2009, if you would have bought when everyone was panicking and you were greedy at that time, meaning capitalizing on opportunity, well, guess what? only only a year later you would have doubled your money, doubled it, right? And if you would have waited and got in a year later, you missed out on doubling your money. Yes, over the long term, it would have grown. But again, if there's one thing you take out of this today, this live stream, is that when you see an opportunity, say yes and decide right away. Take action quickly. And so I wanted to show you this example of Apple because everyone's heard of Apple. And, obviously you can see at the top, the stock's at $155 today. All right. So again, people are getting scared. This is your time to act and to make a decision. So there's 4 ways for you to capitalize on this. Number 1 is you can go into a franchise as an owner operator. So it probably means you're going to quit your job or whatever it is that you're doing now, and you're going to be full-time in your business. This is going to give you the best chance of short-term profitability, right? You're going to be hands-on in your business. You're going to reduce your labor cost. You just go full force, dive right in, and you're willing to go for it right away, right? Some of you can afford to do that. Some of you may not be able to afford to do that. And by the way, as we go through these 4, let me know which one interests you in your situation the most. Is it owner operator, semi-absentee, buying a profitable resale, or turnaround? So you can just put number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Go ahead and drop that in the comments below or in the chat on which one interests you the most. So number 2 is semi-absentee, which is you can keep your job. You can go out there and find a franchise that you feel like has great opportunity, and you can still work your job and just be part-time in your franchise. Do it on the evenings and weekends, whatever it is. You can create a smoother transition for yourself, right? Hey, Bridget. That's my wife. Number 3 is profitable resale. So here's one of my favorite things, and I talk about it all the time. And it's one of the things that we show our clients in the Zero to Profitable Franchise System is how to buy resales. We have a few clients right now buying some killer resales. So one of the things you can do, a huge concern for people is, okay, I want to buy a franchise, right? But here's the biggest concern that I hear all the time. I'm scared. I'm scared that I'm not going to make any money. What if it doesn't work? What if it takes a long time? Buying a profitable resale that already has a proven track record of profits is one of the best ways. It's one of the best ways to replace your income and quit your job immediately. We have people like Cole. Cole was one of my clients. He bought a profitable resale, a college hunks hauling junk, replaced his income immediately, quit his job day 1. We have Let's see, Joe. I just did I send out an email about Joe? No, I think I posted in our private Facebook group. Joe is someone who's in our program. Joe bought a profitable resale and was able to replace his income, quit his job, and he just provided us all an update in our private Facebook group for the people that are in our program. He took sales from 30 grand a month to in the month of August, it's 70 grand a month in sales. Insane. So that's a profitable resale. Number 4 is a turnaround resale. So this is the weird. Remember when I promised the weird strategy is typically everyone's too scared to do this. For those of you who have the ability to be strategic and have confidence and be decisive, and maybe you have a little bit of a financial cushion, a turnaround resale can be a great opportunity. I would recommend that you pair this with going in as an owner operator. Here's what a turnaround is. A turnaround is buying a business that is either losing money or struggling. Okay. So there are businesses and franchises out there right now that are for sale that are losing money or they're just break even and they're struggling. And it's not because of an absence of opportunity, but one, there are a lot of people that just are not good at running businesses. Like just the reality of it. Like some people are not good at sports or basketball. Some people start businesses, believe it or not, and they're terrible at it. Right? For whatever reason, whether they lack the skill set, whether they lack the strategic thinking, whether they're lazy, it doesn't matter. They're just people that are not good at running businesses. And so there are a lot of unprofitable resales that you can buy for 20% on the dollar, 30% on the dollar, and you go in as an owner operator, you're able to turn that business around. Here's an example of that. One of the clients in our program, Derek, he bought a resale like this. Okay, it was struggling. The owner was doing all of the work by himself in the business. Now this is a home services related business, so definitely very recession proof. And the owner was older, doing all of the work in his business. So your typical, what we call one man banding it, when just the owner's doing the work, they're not leveraging a team. That's the quickest way to stay broke and buy yourself a job in a business is you doing all of the work yourself. And so Derek in 3 months doubled the business. He already, I think now he's in the 4 months now, he's already made back his entire return on investment of buying the business. So that is if you can be bold enough, it's a fantastic opportunity. You could probably get businesses for 50 grand, 60 grand, 100 grand and turn it around. All right. And yes, if you have any questions like Bridget, go ahead and drop your questions below. We're going to do Q&A at the end. So it's going to be first come, first serve. So if you think of any questions, go ahead and drop them below. All right, so let's start talking about some of the 4 industries that I want to highlight here today. Okay? So 4 recession-proof industries that I really, really like. Keep in mind, there are many more than this, but these are some of my favorites. Number 1. Number 1 is finance and insurance, okay? Look, at the end of the day, finance can do with just overall could be taxes, bookkeeping, insurance. There's a lot of insurance franchises out there, things that do things like payroll, stuff like that. I would kind of categorize that all in the same thing. Definitely can be a great opportunity. Number 2, childcare. Look, no matter what's going on in the economy, people still need to take care of their kids. And often people will feel they'll start pulling back on what they're spending and they'll feel people still have the itch, right? It's like everyone gets that itch to spend money because a lot of times it could be you had a stressful day. You're looking for that dopamine hit. Let me spend money on something to make myself feel better. And so people may not do it with things that were like nice to haves during harder times, but they might redeploy that capital towards their kids, right? Or they might redeploy that capital towards their pets. So I like pet services as a business and as an industry. And then number 4 is I like home services and real estate services because people still need to take care of their homes. All right. And I see we got some good questions coming in, so we'll tackle those at the end. Also, if you're getting value out of this, and if at any time you go, hey, I mean, I've been thinking about a franchise for a long time. I feel stuck. I feel overwhelmed. I feel confused. I really want to make this happen. I haven't been able to make progress on my own. Then you can always book a call with my team. Go to tariqjohnson.com/consulting and book a free call. See if we can help. Okay, franchise number 1. I promised you 3 specific franchises that I was going to talk about. So franchise number 1 is it's in the finance industry, servicing small business owners. So, and we're not going to talk about the specific names of any franchises. So if you want to learn what this specific franchise is, then make sure to go to tariqjohnson.com/consulting, set up a call with my team, and then we can help direct you to that franchise, or maybe help connect you with a franchise broker if needed. But this is a 9 to 5 business, 9 to 5 traditional office hours and recurring revenue. It's really a fantastic opportunity. And, sometimes people think, okay, I'm going to buy a franchise. I don't want to be working all the time. There are a lot of great franchises that are 9 to 5 type of businesses. One of our clients, Joe, who bought a resale business, he bought a print business, printing materials for small business owners. His business is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 schedule. He's not open on the weekends. So there's some good opportunities out there where you don't have to sacrifice your lifestyle. The investment, this is a super low investment between basically $40,000 and $65,000 all in. You only need a $50,000 net worth. The franchise fees only $15,000. It's one of the best up and coming low cost franchise opportunities that are out there. And in their item 19 is in the franchise disclosure document where you can show financial performance or how much money something has made. In their item 19, they showed a gross profit. So there's still expenses that get deducted from gross profit. But because this is more so of a home-based business, there's not going to be a lot of expenses coming out of the gross profit. They did their affiliate location, meaning their corporate location, because they're a newer franchise, did over $277,000. Amazing. So great opportunity. Low cost, high reward potential. Franchise number 2, it's in the childcare industry, specifically in the daycare industry. And actually, this is something that my wife and I were looking at pretty heavily right before the pandemic. We were pretty deep in the process with a daycare company, and then the pandemic hit, and everything went crazy. We already had our other 2 franchises, and so we just hunkered down and focused on our current businesses. But this specific one is one of the lowest cost childcare franchises. In case you guys don't know, that they're nationwide, there is a significant demand for childcare and daycare businesses. And some of you will probably experience this. Do any of you guys, or any of you have kids who are tuning in and watching right now, and you've tried to get them into a daycare and you got put on a wait list? I know that the school that we got in for our son, there was a wait list, and my wife, talked our way into it. And I've heard this from a few other clients. I actually have a client that's looking at this specific franchise, and they experienced it with their son. They had to get on wait lists with 4 different daycares, and then the price was through the roof. So talk about a business where people have to pay. I mean, if you got 2 parents working, like, this is something where, like, people may not want to pay you the whatever $800 a month, $1,000 a month, but they have a job, they got to put their kids in daycare. And so this is a Monday through Friday business, right? This is a Monday through Friday business, maybe not 9 to 5 purely, maybe 8 to 6, whatever it is. But overall, it's It's not a weekend business, and it's recurring revenue. So think about this with a childcare business or daycare. Let's say you get to capacity or 70, 80% of capacity. People are going to keep paying you month and month and month. You're not having to resell and resell and resell and resell. And if you have a wait list and you constantly have a pipeline of customers, right? The investment range in their FDD is between $214,000 to $857,000. So it's a wide range. This specific franchise is pretty flexible in how you can get open. So, um, you can control that range by the location you choose. They have a $300,000 net worth requirement and a $50,000 franchise fee. And in their item 19, the schools open at least 1 year, show an average of $866,000 in revenue and an average of $213,000 in EBITDA, which means earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation. So that's typically not factoring in your loan cost. So even if you have loan payments of, let's say 60 grand a year, let's just call it 50 grand for easy. Let's call it 63,000 for easy math for me while I'm talking. So your loan payments are 63 grand a year, is a little bit over 5 grand a month on, let's say, your SBA loan. You're still taking home $150,000. Solid opportunity, right? All right, let's jump to number 3. Franchise number 3 is in the pet care and supply space. And I think someone put a question in around this, and we'll tackle that later on. I duplicated the page. I didn't mean it to say lowest childcare franchise. This is a pet care franchise. And they do pet care and supplies. So it's an interesting business, well known. This is not a Monday through Friday business. I put together this presentation in between meetings today. I knew there was going to be some mistake in here. It's not reoccurring revenue, but the rest of it on down is accurate. So $450 to $1.5 million investment range. So it's a little bit higher, a lot of bit higher in terms of the overall investment range. And for those of you who have the question about, hey, how do I fund when I'm getting a franchise? A lot of the times what people do is, if you get an SBA loan, you only need to put 20% down. So even if it was $1 million to get open, if you can put $200,000 down, then you can secure a loan for the remaining $800,000. Granted, your payment will be incredibly high on an $800,000 loan, but that's how that goes. People generally aren't paying $1 million out of their pocket. It does have a $600,000 net worth requirement and a $50,000 franchise fee. In their item 19, they showed an average EBITDA, so profit before your loan payments, of $170,000 for stores open between 2 to 3 years, and $340,000 on average for stores open 4+ years. So again, everyone wants the quick hit overnight success. But look, at the end of the day, the longer your time frame is in terms of your goals, the higher probability of actually getting there. 1 year, everything that we teach is zero to profitable in 12 months or less. You can certainly, it's a realistic time frame, 100%. Now, profitable just means that your cash flow is more than your expenses, right? Or your income's more than your expenses. To actually be able to generate a significant opportunity, it's probably going to take a couple of years. So you got to be patient. And again, the longer you wait, right? So if it's going to take you 3 years, let's say, to get to those exciting numbers, every day you wait, you cost yourself money. Every day you wait, you cost yourself money. I want you to ingrain this in your head. I think because of my analytical personality, I have so many overthinkers out there that watch the channel. Every day you wait, it will cost you money. Okay? Let that ingrained in your head. Take action now. All right. So, is it okay if I tell you guys about Zero to Profitable franchise, and then we'll take some questions? So let me know in the comment or chat below. I'd love to be able to just tell you a little bit about Zero to Profitable franchise and how it works. how you can get a franchise profitable in the next 12 months or less. I know there's a little bit of a delay here on my end. Waiting. Drop me a yes. Looking forward to hearing about it. Boom. All right, perfect. All right, sweet. So here's the problem that that I often see, because I get a ton of emails and people reaching out, and maybe you can relate to this. This is the most common issue that we see with people looking into a franchise. I don't know where to start. I'm stuck, and I've been looking at franchises for months or years now. This is actually something very common that we hear. I feel overwhelmed. There's so many options out there. How in the world do I actually narrow it down? How do I actually get to the point where I can decide and feel confident about choosing the right franchise? Or I've looked at so many and none of them seem right for me. So at that point, it's like you get this numbness, right? It's like, I've looked at a couple of those. I've tried that. It didn't work for me. But most of the time, it's because people were dabbling. They didn't have the right tools and the right system to be able to follow. Probably the biggest concern I see is, look, can I really make the money that I need in order to support myself and my family? What if the business fails? What if I do this and invest all of this money, and it doesn't work and we actually lose money? Um, do I actually have enough money saved in order to actually pursue this and get this funded? Um, Another thing we see is, hey, I found a few franchises. I'm looking at them. I'm kind of struggling to do my due diligence a little bit, but mostly I'm scared. I'm terrified to pull the trigger. Or a huge one is that there's no consolidated place of all the information I need. I have people that reach out and they go, Tariq, your videos are great, but it's like, yeah, to try to go through all of them and piece the puzzles together, or Googling information. I mean, it would just take you hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then you still don't have all the information you need, and you don't have it in the right systematic step-by-step format. So here's the way that Zero to Profitable Franchise solves this. And we'll dive into your questions in a minute right after this. My team does this in a few ways. Very, very simple. And like Devin said, thanks, Devin. Appreciate it. He says, yes, it's a great program. Devin is in the program. He's not a plant. He's still working through the process. He was actually super skeptical about joining. And we actually emailed back and forth a few times. But here's what my team and I do. So number one, we help you find the franchise, or we'll find it for you. So we can act in a coaching capacity, or we can act in a franchise broker capacity and help you. That we help you vet it, we help you buy it, and then we'll continue to work with you to get the business profitable. Second way we help you, we'll help you find an already profitable resale franchise so that you can go out and find it. We'll just act in a coaching capacity, or we can actually go out there and find it for you. We'll help you vet it. We'll help you buy it and continue to work with you once you become a franchisee. Number three is that we help you find a turnaround resale franchise. Again, you can find it on your own. We'll show you all the places to go, exactly how to do it, or we'll find it for you. We'll help you vet it. We'll help you buy it, and then help you in getting it turned around and profitable. The goal is not just to buy a franchise, it's to own a profitable franchise. I think I'm preaching to the choir on that one. So, a key part of our work with clients happens after they sign the franchise agreement. And one of the things that we do is that we teach you, one, how to avoid costly mistakes so you can expedite your profitability. At the end of the day, I've been a multi-unit franchisee. Like, I've made the mistakes. When it's always interesting to me when people are on the fence about, I don't know if I want to join or work with you guys. It's like literally the investment to work with us is less than 0.5% of probably what you'll invest to get your franchise open. To make that tiny little investment in order to like get access to people that have actually done it before you and get insights, it saves you so much money. It's not even funny. So we teach you how to save tens of thousands of dollars on your lease negotiation, the exact financial blueprint to get profitable quickly so you can see the actual numbers, how to structure and hire the right team, a major challenge that people have out there right now, right? So hiring is key, especially to gain back your freedom. How to know your numbers so that you can grow sales and profitability month over month, year over year. So some of the current clients in the program that already bought their franchises, like I've been working with them now and I'm like, hey, okay, great. You're doing good. How much profit did you make? They're like, I don't know. Hire your bookkeeper ASAP. Let's go. We got to get this going. And so these are small things that wind up saving them and making them a tremendous amount of money. Because if you don't know your numbers when you're running your business, you don't know how to read a profit and loss statement, something that we teach you, that we go over with you, um, you're going to struggle. You got to know your numbers. And then there's the mental and emotional side of things. I mean, think about it. If you're scared, as an example, let's say the franchisor comes to you and says, hey, we got this great marketing campaign and it's going to be $5,000 for you to take advantage of this marketing campaign. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know if I should. $5,000, that's a lot of money. What if I don't make the money back? And if you can't get yourself to be able to pull the trigger and make decisions and get over that fear in business as an entrepreneur, then you're not going to be able to make money, or you're not going to be able to experience the level of sales that you want to, right? Because in business, it takes money to make money. You're constantly having to make investments. All right. I see that we got more questions diving in. Excited to go over those in a minute. So, who is zero to profitable franchise for? It's literally for anyone who wants to buy a franchise, no matter how early or far along in the process you're in. We've had people come in at the very beginning just going, I want to buy a franchise. I don't know which one. I have no idea. I'm starting from the beginning. And we help them narrow it down, go through that whole process of vetting it, all of that stuff. We've had people that have come in that go, Tariq, I've narrowed it down to one or two. I just need help doing my due diligence and getting comfortable with pulling the trigger, and we'll help them too. I see we got Derek on here. Derek is the man, the myth, the legend. Has done some really awesome things in his franchise business. Culture is incredibly important. And so, again, with zero to profitable franchise, the sooner you get started and reach out, the more that we can help you apply our expertise from the very beginning. Okay. So, if you'd like some help and you want to shortcut your process and you want to feel more confident, more in control in the process of buying a franchise, go to tariqjohnson.com/consulting. And well, you can have a call with our teams. No pressure. We'll just see if we can help you. All right. So questions. Let me go ahead and scroll up and see what are some of the questions that we have, and I'll go in numerical order. Any suggestions on how to select the right turnaround resale? Yeah, it's pretty complex. And so there are a bunch of franchise resale websites. It's one of the things that we show in the Zero to Profitable Franchise system. We show you the exact websites to go to and the exact process of how to navigate resale. So I would suggest, if you're interested in resales, to reach out to us and see how we can help you. You can try to do it on your own. I can tell you that resales are very complex because you got to find the resale. You have to then look at the financials. And so if you don't know how to read profit and loss statements and understand them and understand how to analyze profit and loss statements, and then be able to strategically value the business to see what offer you want to put in, it's going to be very hard to do it by yourself. So this is actually a niche of ours, a specialty of mine, just because I had handled all of the purchasing and selling of our franchise businesses. And I have a couple of free resources out there on my blog. If you go to tariqjohnson.com/blog, I have a resale on the steps to buying a resale business. And I have a couple of different YouTube videos on that too. So, I know that, I do this stuff for free. I know that only a very small percentage of you guys I'll give out all this value, give out my information for free, and a small percentage of you will reach out and want to work with us. And I love it. I know that we have a few people in the program in here. We got Peter, Devin, Ryan, Derek. We actually have a few people in here, which is really cool. I love to see that. Chris Marr asked, "What about the beauty industry?" I think it depends in terms of a recessionary time. At the end of the day, I think women will always prioritize their beauty and the way that they look. So I think that, believe it or not, still represents a decent opportunity, even if it's a tougher economic times. It might not be, you might not have as much low hanging fruit. Um, you might not have as much low hanging fruit, but I think it could be a good opportunity. You just want to make sure you assess the demand. It's one of the things in my profitable franchise formula. I teach it in the free masterclass recording. You can get it at buyaprofitablefranchise.com. You can just go to my website too. You can register for there and get the recording. But demand is a key part of getting profitable. Devin asked about a funeral franchise. Sounds morbid, man. I don't know much about a funeral franchise. I've actually never looked into that in particular. But yeah, if there's a specific one that you're looking at, drop it in the private Facebook group, and happy to take a look at that. Andre said, "Could you be more specific on pet services? How do you compete with big box stores?" That's a good question. So again, part of your research and selecting the right franchise needs to be assessing the demand in the market. As an example, here in where we live in Orlando, there is a chain of pet stores called Pet Supermarket or something like that. I think they're all corporate locations. They're not franchises, but they're literally in every single neighborhood, and they're good stores. So as if even if I was excited about that sort of business, there's no chance I would open it in this market. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I'm always looking for low hanging fruit. So if there's kind of one on every corner, like there is in our specific area, that's not the opportunity. But what is an opportunity in our area is dog boarding or pet boarding. There's a tremendous demand. I mean, like we'd go out for a weekend trip if we didn't book a reservation for our dogs like weeks in advance, and they were packed. They had a wait list, and there's actually another one opening up close to our house. So demand is so key, and there are some that could also mean, Andre, that if there are only big box stores and there aren't some kind of smaller scale ones, people may not like going to the big box stores. There may be demand for more of a boutique option or a place with better customer service or something like that. Muhammad, is this okay for E2 visa? Hey, Muhammad, what happened, man? You ghosted me, dude. Mohammed, I'm sure a few of them would be good for an E2 visa franchise. Pa said, "That's me. I'm scared. It's okay to be scared. Hey, look, fear is normal and natural in this process, and you need to use the fear to your advantage. So, um, if you weren't scared, I would be worried. Like if you were thinking of like if you're like, I'm gonna buy a franchise, but I'm not scared, be like, ooh, like you might be a little bit reckless about this. What happens is you use the fear to help you get successful. So when we took out our home equity line of credit on our house, that terrified me. Now, granted, I didn't know about some of the other funding options that I did now. Again, this was 7 years ago. I didn't know what I know now. I made a ton of mistakes, which is why I do a lot of what I do now. So you can avoid the mistakes that I already made for you and save yourself time and money. But use the fear to your advantage. When you're scared, you're going to be more motivated. You're going to have better ideas. Like, you're going to wake up earlier, because you're going to want to make sure that you're successful. I remember back in the day when I was like 15 or 16 years old, and I was a terrible swimmer, and we went out to this lake, with some friends, and this guy had a boat, and he was like in his 30s, and we were doing the tubing thing where you would hold on to the tube and they go really fast. And this guy, I mean, he was trying to knock me off. So he's going fast, taking sharp turns, like, and I was holding on for dear life because I was so scared. I was such a bad swimmer. So I was holding on like my life depended on it. And he did everything he could to knock me off of that tube. And I did not fall off. And I did not fall off because I was hanging on for dear life. I was so scared. The next day, I could not feel my arms, my forearms, my shoulders, everything was so sore. And so it's that sort of fear that you can use to your advantage when you're buying a franchise. You get scared and you go, great, this is exactly why I'm going to succeed. And the reality is, until you jump, like, here's an analogy that I love to use, is that let's imagine that you're standing on the edge of a cliff with a parachute strapped to your back, and you're getting ready to jump off the cliff, and you're terrified naturally. I mean, you're standing looking over the cliff and you're shaking, you can see the bottom, and you're thinking, oh my goodness. And you go, well, I'll jump when my parachute opens. What's wrong with that picture? Can your parachute open when you're still standing on the side of the cliff? No. It's the same thing with the business. If you never take the first step and actually buy and pull the trigger, you never give yourself an opportunity to succeed. It's a way that you can guarantee failure. So if you never jump off the cliff, your parachute will never open. It's the irony. So you have to take that first step in faith. You have to. You have to. You have to. And if you can't, then maybe entrepreneurship is not the right opportunity for you. I'm not saying that to you specifically, Pa. I'm just saying that in general, right? I'm going to take a sip of water because I'm doing all this talking. We got a lot more questions. I'm going to keep going. Mayowa, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. What about if you have already found a franchise and currently in the process of building out? Yeah, perfect. You are perfect to come into our program, and we have a kind of more of a one-on-one coaching aspect version of it that would probably be better fit for you. But that is an easy time to start saving yourself a significant amount of money. The stage that you're in, there are a lot of mistakes that can be made that can shortcut the process for you. Some of them are as simple as permitting and getting open quickly. I mean, there were mistakes that I made in terms of time submittal of permitting. Like, if you open up a month later than you should have because you didn't know to do something in the right timing, and you have only a few months of free rent and your rent's going to be $5,000 a month, you just cost yourself $5,000. That's it. Because you forgot to submit this before this, all of a sudden you cost yourself $5,000. It's that simple in business. Like, this is why we have the zero to profitable franchise system, is to help you avoid those things. It's so easy to save $5,000, $10,000 here or there when you don't know what you don't know. So definitely, if you'd like some help, we would love to at least learn more about your situation and your franchise, and then see if we can help you. Again, no pressure. Chris Marr asks, what will be my task as owner of a franchise? My boyfriend and I are looking in the beauty industry. I'm going to defer that to whatever franchise that you're looking at and asking the franchisor and on franchisee validation calls. Your task will depend on how you run your business, if you're owner operator or if you are semi-absentee. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. That I didn't look down to the next question. Looking at Lash Lounge and Face Foundry, never heard of that one. Difference between them is the first has less services than the other one. Okay, got it. Okay, wow, there was like 4 in a row from you. Sorry, I didn't see all those comments. You can tell how in the zone I am. Um, Chris Mar, I would recommend reaching out to us. Sounds like you have a lot of questions. I'd recommend reaching out and scheduling a call with my team and see if we can help you. Devin, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate what you were saying here. Look, Maria, I'm a little bit dangerous. Devin was saying there are so many people in different stages of the program. You get to hear other people's stories and where they are. It's been a peace of mind having the team. Awesome. Thanks for saying that, Devin. Yeah. So just as an example, like we have people that. So what one of the things we do is we do a group call, and I'm on that call. Like imagine it's just a Zoom call. Well, we'll pull you up. You're asking me questions, very intimate. And so, like, we had someone like Tara who she's going through her lease negotiation. So we were talking about that process and talking about when she's supposed to start submitting her permitting and stuff like that. And like we had a whole dialogue and deep dive on that on the call, right? Because Tara's already further down the line. And so people like Devin get to benefit from that where he had no idea. He doesn't know about thinking about permitting and the sequence and how to manage the going through your SBA loan and getting your contractor bids and signing your lease and at what sequence you do what. And so, the other people on the call get to benefit from it. We had someone else who had signed a franchise agreement. I'm sorry, they signed their lease and they had only gotten one contractor bid. We went on a whole conversation on that group call around getting different contractor bids and what to do and what to look for and how to find them. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to wind up saving probably to the tune of $30,000 or $40,000 just by going out and getting a couple more bids and what we covered on that conversation. It seems dramatic, like I'm just like throwing around this, like, yeah, save 10 grand, save 20 grand. But in business, you're making such big decisions with such big investment levels. It truly can be that simple. Derek, it's hard. Don't do it alone. Derek is someone who has built his own very successful business from scratch, and then he bought a franchise. He still has his other business, and he has his franchise. And yeah, he's like, don't do it alone. I don't blame you. And these people aren't plants. These are just people that are in program and clients that are coming on to learn. Hi, Tariq. Have you ever helped someone in building up a franchise and the business still failed? We have not had anyone close down a franchise. No. So easy answer on that one. Pigtails and crew cuts. I believe that's Juan, right? Pretty sure that's Juan. Man, Juan's an OG. I think Juan's been following me and participating since for like a year and a half now. It's been a long time. What's your outlook on the staffing issues all industries are experiencing currently? Oh, it is Juan. Jeez. I didn't read until the end of the sentence. Here's what I'll say about that. Regardless of the staffing issues that are specific to the time that we're in right now, employees and staffing will always be your number one biggest challenge in your business. No matter what business, no matter what industry, no matter what time, it will always be your biggest challenge. With that said, I think if things do continue to get worse from an economic standpoint in terms of, inflation starts coming down and there's more layoffs, people start losing their jobs, there's more wage compression, like meaning people's wages either start going down or they don't go up. I think what you'll see is that more people will come into the workforce. I think that this will likely be temporary. And at some point, it's got to get better. But I think it will certainly be a challenge to hire people and to staff, and that's got to be a challenge that you've got to be prepared for. So, I think what really makes sense, again, the more you can be in an owner operator business or be in a business that you may have some overall experience in, will be able to help you. And then if you have the opportunity to hire friends, family, people that you can trust, or create partners, partner with someone that you may know, where they may be your operational partner running it, that may be able to help you. But you're gonna have to get creative on hiring people. Like we have a client that I've been working with for a while now. She bought a resale of a massage franchise, and so one of the creative things, she's having trouble hiring massage therapists. I said, if I were you, I'd go get a massage every week from your competitors and start recruiting some of those people. Go in there, get a massage, be like, hey, are you happy here? Maybe don't have the conversation as direct as that, but you got to find creative ways to recruit and got to get very proactive in it. Paz says, I have a franchise I wanted to work with. Opening a new location build up, but still so new that I'm still confused in the language of franchise. Hardest thing right now is taking the first step. Well, that's a lot. I mean, without knowing the specifics there, if you're confused, then you really should schedule a call with our team. I mean, we are the confusion busters. Yeah, I mean, if you're confused, it's without knowing your specific situation, it's hard to give you advice on that at the moment. Yari says, besides first working to get out of student debt and keeping informed of the specific franchise I'm interested in, what else should I be doing right now or once I graduate? Also, my biggest problem for me is the starting investment. How do I earn enough money to get the franchise process started? Just hustle and save? I think there's a couple of things that you can do there, depending upon what your time frame is on wanting to make it happen. So if you're just like, hey, this is something I want to do in like 5 years, 10 years, then yeah, just focus on saving and investing as much money as you can right now and building up your net worth. And it's really a longer term play. If this is something that you really want to do and you're really excited about it and you want to do it sooner than later, my suggestion would be to find a partner or find an investor. So find someone that also would like to own a franchise or own a business, and you can be the operational partner, meaning that they put up all or majority of the capital, but you're the one who actually runs the business. And so you're able to provide the benefit, which is, in many situations, people either have time or they have, money, and often not both. So in your situation, you have the time or the ability to provide the labor. So then it's just about approaching someone who has the money and say, hey, if you're interested in owning a franchise and you want to benefit from owning a business and building up equity and value in that business, I can run that business for you. And that would be my recommendation, and just grind it out as an owner operator and start from there. Yeah, we help with due diligence and in many different ways. We take you step by step through the entire due diligence process with a franchise, through franchisee validation calls, going through the FDD, discovery day, every T that you have to cross and I that's dotted that you can imagine, it is spelled out. We provide spreadsheets, resources. Those are just the tactical things. But here's the thing. Here's what I already know about you in this situation is, if you're confused and you're struggling, you don't necessarily need more information. What you need is guidance. What you need is someone to take you through that information. So the most benefit that you would probably get, not probably, that you 100% would get, is the fact that when we do, let's say, our calls and we get on a Zoom together and you talk me through your confusion and you talk me through what you're struggling with. And in that moment, I provide you insight and guidance and live coaching. And we get to have a dialogue back to back, face to face. And then you get to hear other people on the call who are going through the same thing that you are. And they ask questions that you never even thought of. And all of a sudden it goes, I just figured it out. Or now I feel comfortable. So the step-by-step of the A to Z's of the actual modules in the program, you'll get a ton of benefit from it, because it's literally my 7 years of franchise knowledge, and basically everything and more of my YouTube channel in a condensed step-by-step way with specific tools. So the information part is easy. Most of you don't need more information. You need guidance. You need accountability, right? You need someone kind of holding your hand. Chris, what's up, man? So Christopher asked, I've been exploring biz buy sell, and I keep coming across pool services business. They do come with a certain amount of number of accounts. What's your look on something like this? I think pool route businesses can be a great business. So we would have to do the due diligence together, Christopher, right? Like, right. We want to make sure that everything checks out in terms of revenue, accounts, all that stuff. But let's assume that all of those things are legitimate and they're good and they check out. Pool service business is a great business where you can be an owner operator and jump in potentially at a lower cost. And if you don't mind doing the work and you just want to get out of what you're doing and replace your income, it can be a really good stepping stone. And if you're really motivated and driven, you could potentially scale it, right? So take it from if let's say it's producing, 150,000 in revenue and $70,000 of profit because it's got 100 accounts. I'm just throwing out a random number, and you can grow that to 150, 200 accounts, and then bring on someone underneath you who can service it. Now you can really scale and start to grow a business. Tariq, do you regret using your home towards a franchise? And if you can redo it, would you do that again? No, there's no regrets there. It provided a tremendous amount of flexibility. A lot of people do SBA. I just frankly was not educated on SBA and didn't really know that that was even an option at that time. I think actually using our home equity provided us a lot of benefit because we had a lot more flexibility and in using the capital. You don't start with, when you do a home equity line of credit, at least instead of doing like a cash out refinance, you get to control. As an example, it's like a credit card. If you have a credit card for $10,000, but you only use 2,000 of it, you only make payments on the $2,000. Does that make sense? So same thing with a home equity line of credit is you're only making payments on the amount that you've utilized so far. And in our instance, it was almost 2 years. Let's see. We signed our franchise agreement at, what was it, like March of 2015, and we didn't get open until November of 2017. So it was almost 2.5 years for us to get open because we signed a lease in a shopping center that was dirt lot. It was not yet built. So it provided us a lot of flexibility that SBA definitely wouldn't have been able to. You don't have to use, your home. It's, that's one of the things that we provide guidance for in the program. So we'll provide deep dive onto funding. There's specific case studies of how some clients have funded it. So how I did it isn't the only thing. And again, I keep saying one of the entire reasons why I do this is so that you guys can learn from my mistakes. So just because I did it that way doesn't mean that you should do it that way as well. Yari, you are absolutely welcome. Just schedule a call with our team. We have a couple of different options depending upon what your circumstances are. So schedule a call with our team and you'll get to talk to either Liz or Zach, and they'll be able to kind of understand your needs and tell you more. Tariq, which semi-absentee businesses do you recommend through the recession? Well, I talked about 3 specific ones earlier in this live stream. So if you're hopping on late and you didn't get a chance to see those, then definitely go on and check those out. Go back and watch the replay, and you can see a couple of ones that I mentioned. There are a tremendous amount of semi-absentee businesses out there. It's really about what fits your needs and your specific goals. If you want help with that, our team can recommend specific franchises for you. So I'd recommend going to tariqjohnson.com/consulting, put in your info, you schedule a free call with our team, no obligation, no pressure. And, we can be able to help you based on your specific situation. Boom. I think I hammered through all the questions. Wow. We had a lot of questions today. That was really great. Well, I'm going to run so that I can go home and give our little man a bath and put him down to bed. And thanks everyone for joining. I would really highly recommend schedule a call with our team. We can help you. Oh, go take a look at some of our clients, tariqjohnson.com/testimonials. tariqjohnson.com/testimonials. You can see some of the people in our program, what they did. And the other one is the tariqjohnson.com/franchise course. It tells you a little bit more about the specifics of the program and how it works. I meant to actually pull up that screen earlier and I forgot. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you. You're welcome, Derek. You're welcome, Peter. Thanks for hopping on, guys. Appreciate it. And have a great rest of your night. Bye.